Hello, Kaloo. My name is Neurobeat, and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today, we're going to be working more on Neurobeat. More accurately, we're going to try to get characters done. Yeah, got a little bit of work done last time. Kind of just said, hey, let's do it. I'm ready. How's life? Life's fine. Generally speaking, let me see, we did some lore bits. New World Order 2099. I did the cerebral enhancement training, or pretty much where psychic powers came from. Generally speaking, it's drugs. People got really, really high, and everyone was good, and everything was not good. Generally speaking, I kind of kept the same, basic lore. The basic idea is that Generation 1 were a bunch of super soldiers, effectively. And everyone was like, man, these guys are really good, but there were never a lot of them because there was a huge attrition rate. Turns out people would just die a lot. It's like, oh, turns out if you're a psychic super soldier, you fucking get shot very easily. It's like you don't have any bonuses there. You're still a guy and you get shot and you die. Gen 2 were psychotic. That was the entire idea. They were almost all psychotic, completely corporate sphere. One of the issues there is that barely any Gen 2 are still alive anymore. And the ones that are there are pretty much heavily medicated just due to the fact of how dangerous they were. Gen 3 were pretty much perfect clairvoyants, and they could see the future, and they could do a bunch of weird shit. The problem is they would legitimately disassociate from reality. They simply just wouldn't be there anymore because they would just become a weird hodgepodge system of all the minds around them. People used them to predict the stock market, and it didn't do very well, which led to Gen 3. Well, which led to Gen 4 with, it's kind of like, hey, we're going to now get the correct people with the correct program, with the correct dosages to make kind of like the weakest of them. But it's like, hey, you need to take Neurobeat D to get it, and it's a pretty stable, cocktail of, kind of medication to keep you relatively stable, but you're also pretty much the weakest of them. You're just very grounded in reality. That's the problem. You're just grounded. Also, I missed last week. What cursed dice system are we using? Also, here's all the other lore bullshit we need to write. System neutral appendages, New Wave Intelligence, Lazarus Weeping, Disco Elysium, Badge of Purgatory, Monolith to Unity, the Manufactured City. The most basic idea of how the system functions is you're going to choose, the GM is going to say, what is the current chaos of the situation you are in? If the situation is bedlam, for example, you're gonna take a D8. You're gonna take a skill. You have one of your skills, and let's say I have a D6 in my skill. That's all you're going to be rolling. The goal is to hit 7. That is all you need to do. Not add them up. The die needs to hit 7. So if I rolled a 7 here, I would have succeeded at this task. However, you may be saying, Notepad, how do I roll a 7 on a D6? And the answer is, you don't roll a 7 on a D6. However, what you can do is use your precognition die. You're going to start with 7 8-sided die, but though these can change, and you're just going to record the results. You can add these to die, such as if I rolled a 4 on my D6, I could add one of these pre-rolled successes to that die to increase its value, or I could just add the die entirely. So if I have an 8, for example, I can say, hey, I've got 2 successes, I'm doing really well. That's the basics of it. Now, of course, one of the ideas is you need to rest. You need to take something to actually get your precog die back, which is difficult. And that takes time, or you can just take an injection and get all your precog die back and just snap yourself back to reality. One of the biggest things about this game, though, is the idea of mitigation of chaos. You want to do every single thing in your power to not get into a chaotic situation. Hey, engaging armed suspects is dangerous. Get a drop on them. Throw a stun grenade in. Fuck it. Just call in Murphys. Call in the actual people to do that job. That's not your job. Your job is to find the guy. The entire idea is how do you mitigate as much chaotic situations as possible? The entire go. Or all of the good and bad that may entail. Generally speaking, I'm going to be working on the lore as much as I can. The lore is going to be a huge chunk of this game, but yes. Esprit de corps. Let's learn about how to make a character. So, Neurobeat, mental fortitude, nature of adversity, and control the advanced psychic training they need. Deploy the team, often only a few at a time, drift into a local area for reconnaissance and surveillance. Neurobeat bylaws dictate that the UN must, let's see. Neurobeat bylaws dictate the UN must report which officers being sent are part of the program, though with mountains of paperwork needed, the red tape of bureaucracy manages to hide the most involvements. But they'll be found out eventually. Neurobeat officers are built differently. Slower and more methodical, with a quiet understanding. They can read the minds of anyone, like picking away at people with a surgical question or a knowing nod. The only way they know their ability is activating is by the hue of their eye changes. The only way to know their ability is activated is being used is the hue of their eye. Different for each psychic. Different for each psychic, of course. Countered by a cheap set of contacts are called upon when they're needed, often by the desperate, sometimes by the curious. What we do now is we insert a horizontal line. Yeah, I meant to stream earlier today, but I got caught up. How we doing? We're doing all right. How do you... I have two diceless systems, actually. Dungeon Tactics diceless system is effectively, you don't roll for anything, everything's just deterministic. You say, I attack, you're going to attack. But the enemy says, I'm going to attack, they're going to attack. It's a lot more about doing actions to do things. Instead of saying, I'm going to rely on my defense, it's, I'm going to bump my defense value up with an action, or I'm going to do something to do this, or spend something. As for Fate, Lonely Dance, and in turn God-Killing Sword, the entire concept is more a comparison game. If that person has a higher stat than you, they're going to beat you eventually. The issue is, how long does it take them to beat you? And how do you turn the tide? Because that's how Amber works. And Amber Diceless is a weird system. Amber Diceless is incredibly weird, by the way, and I think everyone should interact with Amber Diceless at least. Because it's funny. Let's see. Let's do creating an officer. Creating an officer of Neurobeat. I'm creating an officer of Neurobeat. No. Officer. When creating an officer of Neurobeat, it's assumed that the each of them, let's see, when creating an officer of Neurobeat, the three facets to manage about their. There are three facets to manage about their. Actually, fuck. How do I want to word this? Actually, no. When creating an officer of Neurobeat, the PO will and in certain fields, and as well as their psychic ones actually determine their overall ability in certain fields. These skills, let's see, these skills double as the officer's talent, psychic talents, being able to tap into their neural abilities to perform supernatural feats. When first being deployed, each of the officers will be assigned distributed among their skills. Each point increases the die size of that skill by one step. Starting at D4. Actually, D4 so it would be D4, 6, D8, D10, D12. So 5 in total. And ending at D12. Let's see, die size of the skill by one step, starting at D4 and ending at D12. Whenever the skill becomes relevant, they will add their skill. They will add their skill die. Whenever skill becomes relevant, they will add their skill die to the check they will add their skill die to the check. They'll add their skill die to the check, possibly adding a success to a possibly let's see, not having a skill doesn't mean that the not having a skill doesn't mean the officer cannot perform the act. It doesn't mean not having a skill. Not having a skill does not mean that an officer is hopeless at it. Simply, they are not focused on that aspect of their training, and as such, do not an aspect of their training resulting in a weaker result. Okay. So what we can do instead is drop the line. We do that. Heading to. We want to do is we want to create 5, actually create 6. So this is be D0, D4, D6, D8, D10, 12, D. Let's see, adept. What would be a good adept? Let's see, adept synonym. Give me a good adept synonym. Oh, we've got a manly. Hello, welcome. Say hello to Neurobeat Manly. Ah. Ow. 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 So Notepad, how many civilian-run organizations are there that monitor AK spy on Neurocut? And then then Manly's immediately killed in the line of duty by the other Russian. I want you to remember, Mara is the other Russian. So no enemy civilian. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some out there. It's one of those things where the guy, you know, it would be people like weirdly obsessed with you because there have been psychics a while. People know that psychics exist. It doesn't mean they like them. It doesn't mean that they're like, oh, cool, you're a psychic, that means we like you. No. They just are like, hey, you're a weird fucking psychic, go away. That's why the UN, even the UN's like, yeah, we don't really want people knowing you're there because that kind of ruins the point. So, like, we'll deliberately hide you. Even though, like, we shouldn't hide you, but we totally will because we think that you're fucking stupid. Let's see. Generally speaking, you can get up to a mastered right away, and I'm okay with that. I am perfectly fine with getting up to mastered right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. So we're going to make a table. We're going to say this table is going to be 1, 2, 3. Yes, we're going to make this a 3-size table. But this is going to be name, description, and we're going to say it's called the resonance. Now, the resonance is something that I'm going to have to do on my own because that's going to be a very particular thing that the players will have to think about, and it's like, yeah, this is just how people view it. Actually, I should say, okay, so name. Let's just add in some cool, like, kinesis. Kinesis. Let's see. Actually, no. Brutal. This, the psycho resonance, psycho killer. Okay. So let's think of some other skills. Now, you might be thinking, Notepad, shouldn't you have already come up with a bunch of skills because you know what you're doing and you're not a complete fucking goober? And the answer is, yeah, I probably should have. It's one of those Highlander moments. Sleeping world building. Well, perceived grievances. The only true is bad at Dragon Pass. Hey, I can't be bad at Dragon Pass, Draco, when my entire fucking clan is fucking goobers. The old loony exist. Random thought. Did you see the Face Connect release the official trailer? Yes, I did see the official trailer for the new gen of Face Connect. It looks very interesting. How the fuck is Cover Corp still alive? Like, isn't VTubing world dominated by Hololive? Yeah. I mean, this is Cover. You may be saying, hey, it's the parent company to Hololive. So yeah, Cover's still alive. The thing is, like, Cover Core, you gotta remember, Cover isn't, like, like, that's kind of the weird thing, is, like, Cover isn't necessarily just a, oh, hey, it's just Yagu, ha ha ha, look at Yagu. No, there's, like, a bunch of other things, like, this company does do other things. Like, they are a weird, like, tech firm as well. Yeah, metaverse. They want to do a bunch of. Effectively, the idea is that they are using, using the VTuber stuff to just launch other tech stuff. That's effectively what it is. That's their entire the co-creation economic sphere. That's Cover's entire gimmick. Is that they want to use VTubers as a economic springboard. Because the major companies currently, the major companies, there's Hololive, there's Cover Corp. Cover Corp is Hololive. Hololive, big money there. The girls there make a good chunk of money. They have quite a few different branches. Some do better than others. There's been some drama on the EN side recently, but that's kind of par for the course. We didn't have any Ermali, Draco. All the Ermali were bad. Nijisanji is still pumping. Like, here's the thing. Nijisanji still exists. Like, that's, yeah, like, when you think Nijisanji, this is important. You gotta remember, this is by another company called Anycolor. This is Anycolor. This is another company entirely. They want to do their own thing. They're doing the same gimmick. It's the Nijisanji project. And then a transmedia projects. And they want to do... they effectively want to... The goal for, like, Anycolor, which was interesting, is they want to turn these into brands. And they want to sell you these. They want to sell merch, they want to sell character art, and they want to do things like that. And that's a big thing for them. Where Hololive, where Cover Core actually went for a much smaller approach. Like, we're going to have fewer people, but we're going to really kind of do a little bit more with them. Niji went for the shotgun approach and being like, we're just going to produce as many as we physically can and see what sticks. And for a while there, they were doing pretty good, just because they had so many more talents. Turns out, turns out if you have, like, quadruple the number of people working for you, you're going, even if they don't get, half as the numbers of one of your girls, you got a 24/7 stream, and they actually are still in China, which is a big thing. They're still in China, which is a pretty major thing. Those are the two big JP companies. I think there's like one or two other ones that aren't nearly as big though. In the Western sphere, you have VShojo. Now, VShojo is interesting because VShojo doesn't make money. All of these people here, VShojo does not make money. Now you may be saying, Notepad, how could you be a company and not make money? The answer is very, very simple, in fact. This is legitimately the most, like, Silicon Valley possible company possible. VShojo makes no money. They do not bring in money. It's all promises. They soak up a lot of investor funds. Because in the future, VShojo will make money. Remember that. VShojo in the future will make money, or be valuable. Main goal of this is to build VShojo up to the point where they can sell the company to another group for a shit ton of money. That's the entire plan. They make money, they make like a fraction of the money off of like fucking merch, but nobody ever... Like, yeah, the fucking hoodie is $64. This is the fucking merch that you get. Yeah, this is the fucking exclusive VShojo merch that you get. Yeah, it sucks. Big money there. Drama happens when women notepad. You'll never prevent it. Yes, the recent Idle Corp stuff is kind of insane. FaZe is based out of Canada. FaZe is pretty big, but there's a secret to FaZe, and this is a thing with FaZe Connect that nobody likes talking about with FaZe Connect. And even FaZe Connect fans do not like talking about this very much in the slightest. FaZe Connect does really, really good. Like, on paper, FaZe Connect is doing really good. They've got a lot of girls, there's been no major drama, there's no major issues, really. There's one person, though, carrying the entire company on her fucking back. And we'll see. Oh god, yeah, their website also sucks, but yeah, the fucking FaZe website sucks. This thing is fucking go away, FaZe Connect. Because if you go to FaZe Connect, you click this, you see some of these people, you see Pippa though. Pippa makes a shit ton of stuff. If you look at all of the other channels, if you look at all of the other people, really, and you see a lot of these other people involved, it's like, oh boy, it's Pippa time. What's Pippa doing? You know, there's a lot of that, because if we go to like Pippa again, 289k subs, that's huge. By the way, I think they removed the ability to see other. I legitimately think they removed the ability to see other their other channels. I don't know why they did that. That's kind of weird. But you kind of see there's 74k, 53k. But if we go to, again, we go to FaZe Connect here. Let's go to three we'll go to four random ones. We'll go to just a few random ones across the board, okay? Nice and easy. So, these are all just images, because fucking VTuber Wiki, swear to God. We'll go to you, we'll go to you, we'll go to you, you, and you. Okay, these guys. Remilia, 36k subs. 36k subs. 4.k, 3.8, 19k. This is a fucking ASMR mouth exercises. These numbers suck. These numbers are terrible. Blue Girl here. She debuted effectively over a year and a half ago. Let's check her YouTube. 36k subs. When did she last stream? 3 fucking months ago. Looks like she is streaming consistently, but like, right on time, 22 minutes ago. Like, all right, hey, maybe she doesn't do this. Maybe she's on Twitch only. Well, how does this keep happening? So, she's not on there. Dizzy. Let's go to Dizzy. Dizzy, she only has a YouTube. Let's see what her YouTube is. 23k. Looks like she gets decent numbers, but not great numbers. So we don't need here Lumi. Everyone loves Lumi, but Lumi is also in 5 different places. Cyber Live, Independent, Face Connect. Let's go to her YouTube. Her YouTube, 69K. Barely anything. Let's go to her Twitch. What does her Twitch look like? Twitch has 46K. 46K subs. But 2.8, 1.8, 4.5. Quite a lot. Not great, not huge. Tenma even. She's primarily on Twitch, I believe. Tenma's got pretty decent numbers. She's streaming right now, in fact. You see that 958 with 72.6K followers. We'll go to this girl, YouTube. Rocket Channel, 56.6K, 7.7, 7.1. Quite a few different things here. Pippa is a huge part of this company. She is a weird, huge part of the Face Connect company, and I think a lot of people know that. You know, I don't... Middle Fantasy Night looked, let's see. Well, the thing is, Ironside, that was the interesting thing. She wasn't originally the tentpole. She wasn't. She, like, I would say she only really skyrocketed in the past, like, about year and a half. She went from 0 to 100. And the thing is, that's all it takes, though. That's the problem with any of these entertainment things. If you are the one who gets picked up, the goal anyway of the project is that one person gets picked up, suddenly everyone begins tent poling around them, everyone gets more money out of it, everyone wins. It's great. It's great. That didn't happen with really any of the other Phase Connect girls. And none of that really happened with other Face Connect girls except Tenma, but Tenma's also a literal Japanese office lady. Like, she legitimately has her own world that she has to deal with. It's a part-time gig for her. That's a different world entirely. So, but Pippa does this as a fucking job, and she's making money out of it, and that's kind of one of those very fascinating aspects of the industry. The goal is to create an environment where everyone is syncing up with one another constantly. All work together. We all build each other up. All build each other up. Build, 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 build. However, sometimes one gets away. And Pippa cultivated a particular audience, and that particular audience doesn't like the other girls. They like her. And it's the Pippa show and her sidekicks, which happened actually with Gura and Amy for a while there, the original Hololive English girls. Gura doesn't stream anymore though. Where if you want to see a cucked fan base, it's them. Or poor Kumba. Isn't Gura on hiatus? Gura's been on hiatus for like 3 years. Like, Gura doesn't give a fuck. They don't care because they know you make one stream, they will easily pay rent for the next 6 months. Easy. They don't care. And that's why Gura does one stream every 4 or 5 months. Because she does not care. Because again, it's money. That's ultimately what this entire thing is. It's a fucking human experiment, and it sucks. The recent drama, though, Mara brought it up slightly with Idlecore. Idlecore is one of those companies that was kind of interesting. This is Idle. They weren't huge. Now, the funny thing with Idle, though, is that if I believe correctly, this was the Israeli company. They went real aggro. That was a huge thing. They went they went real aggro. They debuted a bunch of people. They were like, we're going to be the next big thing. We're going to be the next big thing. It's the huge, we're going to be the guy who's going to make it. This is literally the fucking CEO, by the way, to give you the idea. And it's believed that either it was Carlos or Tormer. I don't believe it was Tormer. One of the so what happened was the drama, not necessarily these guys. These guys all just retired. They all left even because they weren't making money. However, Ryoran. Now this is Ryoran. You probably have seen this girl before. Let's see if we can get a bigger image up and running. So this is Ryoran. Very. If you have half a brain, you already know what this kind of person is. So, let me see if I can find the harem post. Okay, this was the harem post. So Ryu here. Ryu is what we like to call a complete gamer. She got hired at roughly the beginning of the year. She got hired in February. Now what occurred though? Multiple violations of her contract, misuse of controlled substances during live stream performances. She was getting high. Soliciting fans for private offline meetings during member-only streams, accepting thousands of dollars worth of gifts from a fan during an offline meeting, and secretly conducting a relationship with a member of Idol management who was also fired. So, to read this out slightly, let me see if I can find the exact image here. So, be part of the Ryoran harem. This was a thing shown on stream, by the way. This is the fucked up thing. No minors. Love the Riro. Don't get jealous, but Riro can get jealous. Don't make her jealous. Riro is a mina no adulteru for my Stardusts. Is Mina idol ru. Be respectful with tactful with Riro. Riro chooses if she wishes to come true or something mild instead. You must be familiar with not Riro. This harem project and what happens there is top secret. Do not talk with other people and other Stardust about your trip and experience. The possibility to meet up with not Riro and more. Yes, she was legitimately petitioning her fucking members to fuck. To join her harem. It was yeah, like this bitch was fucking bonkers. Yeah. Yeah, that bitch was fucking bonkers. We got any IRL pics? Probably, but like bicycle pilled even. Yeah. Would Idol have ignored if she just didn't fuck the management? No. Because here's the thing. I can guarantee you it was not the fucking the management. I can guarantee you that was not it. I can guarantee you it wasn't also the controlled substances of her just getting fucked up on stream. Oh no. I legitimately think it was she accepted thousands of dollars worth of gifts out from an offline meetup. That's the issue. Small has disliked that she got free stuff worth a lot of money. Yeah, effectively, they didn't get their fucking cut. Not exactly complicated to think about. Exactly. That's a contract violation. The others were vaguely contract violations. Hey, don't do anything illegal on stream. Okay, that's not... It's not difficult, but yeah, this isn't difficult. Many fail at this. However, it was, hey, you legitimate, like, this is a very clear-cut thing that we can fire your ass over, and like that's really bad because that's effectively fraud. All right. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. What would be some other? Actually, when in doubt, let's go to Let's see, kinesis. I want to punch you in the face. Empathy. I want to try to understand you. Shivers. Sense for danger and reaction speed. Don't worry, Ironside. I saw it. Also, Unconquered. Unconquered. Read a thing. Not Conan Unconquered. This would be Conan Unconquered TTRPG. This is Unconquered. So, this game came out not too long ago. This was by Monkey Paw. I believe we've talked about one thing from Monkey Paw before. Right here. No, we haven't gone over anything of here. I thought I did. But as you can kind of see here, Intruders, Doom Crawls, Pink Hack, a bunch. What the fuck is Pink Hack? I guess it's this. But right here. Now, the issue here is Unconquered. If I go to here, this is a plagiarism traverse fantasy. You know, Freudo-Marxism and math. As you can tell, we're dealing with great human beings here. Apparently, based off of this, I read through the article. There's some that make sense, some I'm a little bit more apprehensive on, where I'm like, what? Okay. Uh, there's a lot of things here which are very, very weird and a little bit too. How do I want to? A little bit too common. You kind of see here. If it's green, it's the same. If it's red, it's vaguely the same. You kind of see they are very common. A lot of these are very present and very. There is a lot of similarities between UVG and Unconquered to the point of accusations of plagiarism. Now, is it fully plagiarized? I don't know. However, this is also a incredibly boring genre of game that I'm not surprised they fucking plagiarize, because it's the same shit over and over again. I think the thing that people are most annoyed about this was because this was a Kickstarter right here, which they said was going to be a different kind of game. They originally said it was going to be based off of Troika, if I remember correctly. It was going to be based off of one of these other games, which when I first saw it, I actually thought this was just a Troika game. To be honest with you, I legitimately just thought that. No, it was using Knave, because yeah, it was using Knave, and yeah. Apparently there was some issues with this one coming out. But yeah, well, the thing is, it's not even necessarily, it's just like, oh, it's just an Excel game. Like, no, it's just, here's a bunch of tables. The actual game is like 2 pages long. The game is 2 pages long, but make sure you pay me $30 for the privilege of paying it for a 3-page long game. Let's see some other. Let's check Psycho. Oh, God, didn't mean to hit that button. Psychonauts. Mm. 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 Their ability to abuse it. Mm. What would be a good one for? Mm. 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 What would be a good way of mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She Psychonauts 2 power. Tell me about Psychonauts 2. Mm. 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 Well, actually, that's the funny thing with Internet Historian is what he's saying, like, oh, you didn't cite this guy. He did, though. That's why Man in Cave was actually taken down for about a month there, because he was working it out with the original source, and he's actually sourced in the video, in the description of the video, being like, hey, we worked this out. It was a the thing there was that it was misattributed to a different place where he got the information. Someone else didn't do their research very well, so he cited that, but that wasn't the right way to cite it. And yeah, it got fixed up and everything's fine now because it's very transformative. This guy, though, is hilarious because he's like, you didn't cite this, or whatever. It was the fault of his editors, writers. No, the thing is, from what I gathered anyway, was the original source put out the article. Another source, another place, picked it up and ran it. And then they found that source saying we were the original guys who made this, and then they use that because you have to believe them on that. It's because literally if someone else didn't cite their source, yeah, no, it was like, fuck, man, that video was rough to watch. Bread 2 fans are defending Hassan by saying he steals content, it's not plagiarism. That's some next level BreadTube thinking. And I fucking hate every BreadTuber. I want everyone to know this now. I fucking despise BreadTubers. Well, even funnier, even with the if you notice when this came out, by the way, when this came out, if we take a small thing here, and if we go all the way down here to given H Bomber Guy's recent video plagiarism in YouTube, I think it's perfect time to call out creators who think properly attributing giving credit is beneath them. Yeah, legitimately, I get ready for probably about, I would say it's going to last about 2 months of people making plagiarism accusations. Going to come after you now. I'm ready. I don't think I'm big enough. I already have one guy on TG who says that I steal everything. It's straight up a new update for NPCs. Yes, it is straight up a brand new update. Get ready, it's gonna be great. We want to do Mm. 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 Uh. Mm. 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 It says everything is communist, so if you liked Avatar Last Night, you must be a commie too. Let's replace media literacy. Yeah, media literacy is just pain. Anytime people bring up media literacy, never take them seriously. It's hard to make a brand new system or rule set for rolling multi-sided dice. Spartan, please. And also, compared to the main person that's plagiarism, Illuminati, I think, who complained about plagiarism and got Uno reverse card and deleted her videos, none of the other people called out for plagiarism really acting on moral high ground. Well, the thing with, like, Illuminati got dinged, and instead of saying, oopsie doopsie, I made a mistake, let me fix that right now. Saying, I made a mistake, let me own up to it because I didn't know I made a mistake. She, like, doubled down and said it was fine. Never double down in that situation. If they have bullshit on you, then you double down. Because, like, Internet Historian, what they were, like, fighting with, he is the worst fucking person to go after, by the way. He is the absolute worst fucking human being to go after because he's got an autistic fan base. And he is on the moral high ground. Because he does have all his things. Because the thing is, like, oh, he's getting dogpiled, but he has the moral high ground, and he's got an unhinged fan base that knows he has the moral high ground. So you can, and now since he has the advantage, effectively. The best way to think about it is this bread tube guy took a swing at him, and he just grabbed the fucking fist. Yeah, like, legitimately, that's the entire reason why. And people said, like, hey, what the fuck? And as someone said, like, you didn't do your fucking research. Yeah, effectively, that's the issue. Like, you didn't do your fucking research, did you? And that's a whole nother debacle. It's not gonna be pretty. No one's gonna win this. Adapting to technology. Go gadget. Go gadget. Gun. Let's see. Tech, scholar, finding your way across the city, gun, fist, seeing, abusing. be somewhere else where they need to be. So this is kind of your sneaking and stuff like that. Shiver, sixth sense of danger, reaction speed, empathy, ability to seek human cues. Effectively, with the resonance, the idea behind the resonance is that I'm going to put an image there. So they're going to look like, kind of like, my goal is to get something to look like this. A little bit like, yeah, just a resonance. It's just like an image that is like, hey, this is what you're looking for. So actually, no, we want officer skills. That's the hard part, and it's the officer skills. Next, we need to do officer well-being. Then we need to do officer... media literacy. I don't remember hearing that term often at Half-Light. Technically, visual. If I wanted to be a little bit, visual calculus would be. I'd say visual calculus can go there. Internal dialogue. Yes, you can just pump your internal dialogue skill and actually be able to have a conversation with yourself. So, the thing with media literacy, there is the basic concept of media literacy, and there's the and then there is the stupid way of viewing media literacy. So, you've described the stupid way of viewing media literacy. Effectively, you can kind of say media literacy is the identification of themes and concepts in a work of media. Hey, do you know, since it got mentioned a little bit earlier, do you know that Avatar: The Last Airbender has small themes of colonialism and mysticism in it? Yeah, that's a basic idea of media literacy. Is, hey, you can identify there's a theme of colonialism in this show. Because no nowhere in Avatar the Last nowhere in Avatar the Last Airbender do they look at you dead in the does Ong turn to the camera and say, "Hello viewer, colonialism is bad." They don't do that. They don't say nature is good. No, they show it to you, and you as a child can say, "Hey, this is it. This makes sense." It's also kind of the idea to see concepts and things. It's hey, like if you might have heard of Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun is a really good one. Pretty much an object is set up for later use. An object is set up for later use. They enter the room. The camera sticks to a gun on the wall for about 5 seconds. And then a character asks, "Oh, you have a gun," being like, "Oh yeah, I was a hunter." They don't talk about it anymore. Near the end of the movie, "Oh no, we need a gun. Hey, I know where a gun," and it's like they run into that room. They're like, "Oh, I know where a gun is. Chekhov's gun." You grab the gun. It's now a plot point. That's kind of a basic idea. Because if you do not have media literacy, the idea of the Chekhov's gun, the identification of themes and concepts, that doesn't play out in your head that way. It says, "Oh, they said there's a gun there. Oh, well that's why. Oh, they have a gun now." You don't understand, like, oh, they set this up already. You wouldn't understand that. And if you look at like really little kids watching like kind of a complicated movie, they won't understand certain things, like they set up a gun or they set something up in a drawer. They won't understand that. And because they aren't paying attention to that, they're not seeing like film cues, they're not seeing even things like horror stings. That's media literacy. Yeah, and well, yeah, not everyone is a writer or a super autist. Exactly, but there are some things that, media literacy is saying, hey, you can identify themes, you can identify concepts, and in a younger show, they might say outright, "Hey, we're going to talk about friendship." But in Sesame Street, Elmo does not come up to you and say, we're talking about friendship now, please pay attention. No, he interacts with someone he cares about, he is friendly to someone he cares about, and there's a moral lesson at the end where everyone's happy because we interacted with people we like. A child can say, "I get it, media literacy triggers, I see it now." Very, very simple stuff. But then you get some more advanced things, of course. Later on you see Dune, I think is a good example. I'll use Dune because I like Dune. Dune, you have this entire thing of this weird theme of a messiah. The entire book series is about a messiah. And if you read the first book, they set up Paul to be a messiah. And they keep saying he's going to be the messiah, he's the messiah. But the entire book is is a bunch of other characters as well as himself saying, "Hey, I don't want to be I'm not a messiah, I'm just a regular guy." And by the end of the book, obviously, spoiler warning, for a book that came out years ago, he becomes a messiah. And for all of the wrong reasons. And that's kind of the problem, is he is set up to be this messianic figure that it's like, oh, he is the hero, he is this, person, and he leads to the fucking Fremen Jihad, which plunges the galaxy into horrific war and it's a whole shit show. He's exactly what he wants to be, but in a way he didn't want to be. He is a messiah, and he is exactly what he was. That's kind of the issue, and every character thinks that they are the messiah, or thinks another character is a messiah, and the way they act is very different. It's very fascinating. That's a bit of media literacy you can pick up on, where it's, hey, we can understand Paul doesn't view himself as a messiah, but he knows other people view him as one, so he's going to use that. You could pick it up being like, oh, hey, Paul's our hero, Paul's a protagonist, but he is also a very smart protagonist. He's a smart person written by a smart character. He's a smart character written by a smart person. Anton Chigurh. from No Country for Old Men. Another great example of this. Whole fuck ton of that movie, fuck ton of No Country for Old Men, is setting up how fucking intelligent Anton is. Because Anton Chigurh is an incredibly intelligent character who does things to effectively win every fight he's in. Because he's an incredibly competent and well-established character. And there's a lot of media literacy that goes into it, as well as kind of some sadder bits, like such as when Llewellyn dies and things like that. You know, things are set up. You read it, you're like, oh, there are some larger themes at play here. Like there are some bigger themes going on here, and you could dissect individual parts of that movie because it's so well done. It's an incredibly good movie. I think one of the issues now with media literacy is that this has changed to I think this is the idea of new media literacy. Identification of themes and concepts in a work of media to fit a pre-established notion. And there are some works that do change with time. Death of the author is a thing that does occur. You can make a strong argument that Atlas Shrugged is a really good example of this. Atlas Shrugged is effectively saying communism is bad and everyone who is a communist is bad. We should all embrace ANCAP liberalism. However, reading it nowadays, you can kind of see a pretty massive critique about the whole human condition. Reading it, because Ayn Rand, maybe intended that, maybe didn't. You can kind of interpret it a little bit being like, oh, well, pretty much every character in this book is kind of an asshole for various reasons. And people fuck each other over for no real good reason, just because it's just the system that they are in. It's the demand of the world around them. You could argue that. The idea of this new media literacy, though, it's kind of like saying, like, oh, while watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, I picked up on the queer themes put down by the work. And you're like, what do you mean by the queer themes? Being like, well, as you see here, Sokka and Aang talk to one another, so therefore, they are gay lovers. Like, no, that's not quite how that works. It's like you're looking for things to fit inside your already pre-established notion. It's like, oh, hey, No Country for Old Men is always been a critique of toxic masculinity. Why would you say that? Like, okay, well, because every character's a man and they all do terrible things to one another. Being like, all right, that's kind of a weird, yeah. Again, if you look at it that way, you could look at it being Sam and Frodo are the best of friends, and their friendship is what carries them through repeated, trial after trial, leading to effectively a completely heroic, moment at the end of the book, at the end of the series, where Sam is carrying Frodo up the mountain, and in a final last desperate bid, a group of hobbits leave the Shire with heavy heart, with determination, and it's up to the one who wants nothing more than to go back home to finish the journey. And yeah, it's like cool. If you're saying, well, Sam and Frodo are gay, obviously, that misses the point. Like, you're just forcing your worldview upon it. You're forcing an already pre-established notion. Hey, did you know that Mike Pondsmith's Cyberpunk series is secretly about how corporations are controlling the world and we should let them do it, shit like that. You can get some pretty bad ones. That's how you can also, so when people go off and like, oh, well, you just don't have media literacy. you have to remember it's this kind of media literacy they're referring to, especially nowadays. It's, hey, it's an identification of themes and concepts and work immediately to fit a pre-established notion. If you go, and sometimes people can just be kind of wrong in that, yeah, there's quite a big difference between Delta Green saying going fuck the glowies and forcing that on another story. Yeah, and that's the same kind of the same idea. You know, Delta Green does have quite a lot of themes of, hey, fuck glow, you know, hey, the fucking government is a flawed entity. There's a lot of issues here, but we work for them because they're the best option we have available to us. You can interpret that in a lot of different ways, and if you go into it saying fuck glowies 24/7, then yeah, Delta Green is a big fuck glowies book. If you go into it with the notion that the government is flawless, then it turns into Delta Green is a completely flawed organization because it's led by people who don't like the government but use the government's power and shit like that. There's a lot of things you can do here. The thing is, this gets very messy and people get very weird about it. I try not to think about it too much. I watch movies, I read books, I do things that I enjoy, and you should as well. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Has 2 tracks of their well-being, body, and mind. mental health and psychic stability and psychic way resonance way. Should an officer push the limits? Should the officer push the limits of their psychic power of their powers, they would reduce their stability. Injecting a dose of into a vein would improve the stability of office stabilizine. Each officer both endurance and stability will all meaning for how we need to murder people I don't like. Yes, it comes through media. It's better to enjoy things you seek a broader themes rather than making validation of your worldview how it's flawless. Yeah, just enjoy things. I know this is difficult for many to do. Please, enjoy things you enjoy. Dislike things you dislike. Don't force it upon another. Unless it's me. Both stability and both endurance and stability. Both endurance and stability will fluctuate during a case, forcing the manage the situation they are to manage their internal chemistry. Internal chemistry. Hello, phone. Oh, you need my. Tell me you got a Roomba. Let's see, forcing the officer to manage their internal chemistry. I Early retirement. When endurance falls, the maximum size of the maximum size of their skill die decreases. Let's see. The size of their skill die decreases alongside them. Meaning, this means that a officer without. That means an officer bleeding from a bullet wound will not be. And catching at retaliation. Let's see. This means an officer bleeding out from a bullet wound will not be as efficient at retaliation. Not be as efficient as at retaliation. When stability falls, the size of the precog die. The base size of the precog die precog die will increase. If an unstable officer would regain all of precognition dice, they would be of higher quality. And they'd be higher quality and possible results. Of course, this also means they run a risk. Of detonating, of losing more stability. If they push it. They push it further. Okay, so what we can do is insert table. Or this. They should. Suit endurance drop to Mortis. Mortis without immediate. Mm. Mm. There we go. Skill die. How big do you need skill die? Skill die needs to be... That's that. What if we make you 1? You work at 1. What if we make you... They make you lower, smaller? Mm. Next. Officers of Neurobeat are outfitted with a number of provisions and supplies. If a let's see, Officer Neurobeat are active with the tactical loadout to assist them on their cases. While these do shift with location, as Neurobeat is a UN body, is a UN affiliated office. Almost all equipment is provided on the UN dime. UN credit, a credit system by UN accredited providers. How much off-Starlin do you want to be part of the game? Generally speaking, it's really, I kind of want it to be dependent on the situation and dependent on the players. If you want that to be a big deal, then you can make it a big deal. If you don't want it to be a big deal, you don't have to. I'm gonna point out some situations being like, add in some things here. Like, hey, here's some like touch points that you kind of need to dwell on a little bit. But if you just want to solve cases as psychic cops, then go for it. If you want to delve into the fact of, hey, we're a bunch of psychic fuck-ups that everyone dislikes immensely, when due process fails and all that shit. Like, if you want to do that, yeah, then go for it. Like, that's entirely your prerogative. Credit system by UN accredited providers. Effectively, what I'm trying to be, effectively, you can have a bunch of different gear, but it really doesn't matter because you're going to get the same shit. Let's see. We want to do how do I want to word? How do I want to do that? Because it's not necessary, because it's going to be effectively like, this is your basic equipment that you're going to get. I guess we can quite literally, I guess we can just give them this. Another table. Being like, yep, this is it. This is what you're getting. Like, this is, a report of why the weapon was discharged, in addition to UN military, though they will be subject to a report of leveraging UN assets in NEOM unless previously cleared. unless previously cleared. Actually, it would be public security, neon public security. Maybe iron, maybe steel, copper. Actually, maybe copper, steel, gold or platinum. Gold, platinum. Every Neurobeat officer is required to have one. Though they are only steel grade. They only steel grade, making them equivalent to a These military titles or these are police? Yeah, police ranks. Ranks. Police ranks in order. Ranks. Making them equivalent to a first year detective. Oh goodness, there's a lot. I'll have Judge Dredd gun too. Also, no Pat Tuckum's is fake, and what really happened to the police weren't so bad as their job. Made jokes to hostages that the hostages decided to work with the criminals. Stockholm syndrome is such a fascinating human condition. It's great. I love it. Let's see. See, the thing is, you don't get Judge Dredd gun. The Murphys get a Judge Dredd gun because Murphys are cool and everyone likes Murphys. Because remember, when a Murphy's on patrol, crime is never there. I can't remember what I ended up doing. Let's see. What would it be? We've got the Fat Gun, UN security clearance, neon public security badge. Mm. 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 Let's see. Not born on the line, not born on the line or in one of the city hubs. Let's see. Required by every civilian official not born on the line or in one of the city hubs. That you are, that they are a legal resident. All public figures and requirements often given as a plastic card, to prove identity, always chipped to prevent duplication. Always chipped to prevent forgeries. Always chipped to prevent forgeries. Public identification paperwork. What would be? It would be a a Roscoe armored jacket. Armored jacket is the United Nations Roscoe armored jacket is the United Nations is the Neurobeat armor of choice. Armor a long jacket, a long form-fitting jacket. Actually long but breezy. A long but breezy jacket, inlaced with Kevlar, and other protective materials. Level 2, X is level 2 body armor. For all protected areas. However, each Roscoe armor jacket. Each Roscoe armor jacket is required to have Neurobeat UN. To have a UN patch, sewn onto the shoulder. UN patch sold onto the inline to prevent immediate theft. Let's see. I've acquired a UN patch sewn in. A UN ID chip. UN. Mm. Mm. How are you doing today? Me, I am speeding ticket for the wrong information with wrong information on it. Oh no. How did you get a speeding ticket? That's never good. Let's see. We got the gun, security clearances, public ID works, the armored jacket. Because I want to be the idea of like, yeah, a lot of these guys have kind of a similar get-up because you're effectively a Blade Runner. Actually, let's do mm, mm, mm. What the fuck? What the fuck, little Timmy? Little Timmy's a... Damn, little Timmy's got a fucking Uzi up there. This child up here is going to perform a fucking crime. That's a phone. What would be the phone of the future? Actually, do we have any I should say, Nokia. Do we just say fuck it and being like, yep, Nokia, we got a Nokia smartphone. Yes, we do have a good old-fashioned Nokia smartphone. Dare I bring the people what they want? A Nokia. Technically, yes. I'll get to that. Oh crap, I'm later than late. Yes, we're working on equipment. This is just some like very basic. Actually, what we can do is Let's see, that would be you need a case. I mean, this would be like after bypassing a thumb scan. Two injections, and 6 pills of the Neurobeat officer's choice. A choice can be freely accessed in extreme duress. The medico case can This will void the warranty. Yeah, hey, you got it. You put your thumb on it. You scan your thumb real fast, and you get 2 injections and 6 pills of the Neurobeat officer's choice. Yeah, just put injections and pills in. Yeah, hey, you're fucking. You got a bullet. Yeah, just take an injection. Get your health back. You want to feel good? Hey, fucking pop some pills. The fuck do you do to your phones that need them to be that sturdy? Bandolier, voice modulator would be handy. Nokia Soft. After Nokia Soft's collapse after the show. After the show, let's see, if Nokia collapsed after the show, the UN purchased their assets, and set up the Nokia Soft, the Nokia Soft company again. To produce electronics and computing for UN operations. Nokia Soft phones, smartphones are sleek, stylish, and obtuse to actually hack due to the infrastructure surrounding it. VI supported OS. VI supported OS. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Let's see. So, I don't want to do like, oh, you have a bandolier. You have a bandolier. You don't have like a pop-out blade or anything like that. It's You're gonna request that. I'm gonna actually have like a section at the end being like, you want to request a drone? That's something that you gotta request. You want to have like you have a hidden blade, or no, why would they give that to you? There is absolutely no reason for them to give that to you. You want to get that? Go to requisitions. That's going to be 6 hours out of your day because you're going to have to fill out security clearance paperwork. Though maybe a stun gun would be handy. That's kind of the funny thing with it. What about the helmet idea? They don't want you to do that. That's kind of the thing. One of the things is there really isn't any like tech that interfaces with psychic stuff. I'm making kind of a point to say that no tech really interfaces well with it. And you want to be a better psychic? Take some drugs. Shoot yourself up. It's like, and is that going to be somewhat suspicious? Oh yeah. But it's like, it's kind of like a detective arriving on scene, and it's like, no man, wow, officer, this guy seems pretty fucking weird. What do you want to do, Mr. Neurobeat? Like, yeah, give me 1 second. You just inject a fucking, you just inject a goddamn thing into your thigh, being like, all right, let's do this. And BRB, let me just read this motherfucker's mind. Yeah, honestly, like the That gun, the Roscoe armored jacket, the Medico case, and a smartphone. That's pretty much like, I should say, so we gotta have handcuffs. If shot into a cybernetic implant. If the shot is cybernetic, can cause malfunction. Poorly fitted snap arm, because that's how cybernetics work. It's snap. Again, that's going to be kind of one of those, you know, like you have to make a request to get. Being like, give me truth serum. Being like, why do you need truth serum? You can read these fuckers' minds. if you are to the point, here's the thing, if you are to the point where it's like, I need to get a truth serum to make sure he confesses, it's also going to be, you know, it's like, this is just going to be like more inconvenient, you know, more inconvenient for me. I mean, like, if I've already got to this point, I probably already can get a warrant to read your fucking mind, and I'm going to read your mind. I'm going to grab your skull and beat you to death internally. Would come down, yeah, that we can kind of tie that to. I'm gonna have like an entire section of the equipment section anyway, just dedicated to the shit you can inject or take or eat or huff or anything to do things. Hey, you want to do really good? You want to be really good? Yeah, here, take this. Just fuck you. Just get fucked up, man. Take something that is effectively heroin. Like, yeah, just inject that shit. You're gonna be coming down real hard. None of your psychic stuff is going to work real well, but man, you're going to feel good. And there could be stuff being like, this is anti-psychic, you know, this is anti-psychic. We need to medicate the fuck out of you. We're going to inject you and you're just going to be on fucking vibe. No psychic powers for you. You're just going to be fine. I don't know when I should be able to fight it because of the wrong information or give up. I tried to get a lawyer up and weasel my way out of it. It's just going to be more pain and money took out of me if I try to. Depending on the information that's wrong in the ticket. If it's like something pretty serious, like, hey, this isn't me, then yeah, you'd be like, no. If it's like, they got a number wrong, like, you were going 145, but they only wrote 146, then probably not. Again, if you want the easy answer, just paying it's the easiest answer. Just get it done with. If you want to fight it, you probably can go to traffic court and just say, hey, they gave me the wrong information here and I don't want to pay this, and they would probably give it to you. It's just going to take time. I drive a car that I put down a pickup truck. What? Did you run into a pickup? Oh, put down a pickup truck. Oh. Then yeah, you could probably go to, yeah, you could probably go to like traffic court, be like, this isn't my fucking car. Like, I drive this. They put down a pickup truck. I don't drive a pickup truck. What the fuck is this? You could fight them on that if you want, but that's your call. I am not a lawyer, people. Can I have a canine? Technically, no. I wouldn't think about having a canine, but I guess if you want to request one, actually, safer, and much smaller, Actually, one bedroom apartment. Actually, we want to do a small apartment. Square meters. Say hello to your new apartment. Yeah, here's your one bedroom apartment. 55 square meters of you actually have a one bedroom. That's it. 55 square. Actually, we'll even cut it down. We'll say it's going to be 50 square meters. One more city blocks, more private than a UN apartment, more private than a UN apartment block. Three bedroom apartment on the line itself. On the line itself. We want to do a, it would be a, what do we want to word this? This would be a, bolt holes, as they are referred to as, are effectively prison cells for UN employees. Employees on the line. Prison cells. Actually, no. We want to call this UN Bureau Studio. A UN studio. Let's see. It would be a studio apartment size. We are looking at a 35 square meters. A UN studio, 35 is City Bucks. It was Oxam, I believe. Line Neon Bay. Oxagon. UN District of Oxagon. Let's see. The UN studio is located in the UN District of Oxagon, which is comfortable to live in, and under strict security regulations. However, the UN is ever present, and reaching any destination outside of Oxagon takes time. Oh God. I wish I could summon date right now. Physically controlled canine user, but that's probably a whole new set of rules for psychic possession. Can I have a joy? Yeah, effectively. If you want to have a joy, do go for it. To summon him within a summoning circle. Yeah, it looks like a proper civil servant apartment. 3-bedroom is about 300 square meters. Yeah, you would think that a 3-bedroom apartment would be 300 square meters. Like, let me see, a 90 square meter. What would be a 90 square meter? This is effectively like what you would be living in. You would be living in a very large location, don't get me wrong. You would just have a lot of rooms. You live in effectively a 3-bedroom house by yourself. That's effectively where you live. It's effectively a bungalow. Except you live on the line. If we, to give you an idea of where this would be located, now, this may look really cool and fancy, but I want you to imagine you would be living up here. You'd be living in one of these little bungalow areas. It ain't gonna look like this. Let me, how I would, see it more than anything, actually, how I would, view it more than anything would be probably a Neo Kowloon. If you've ever heard of the Kowloon Walled City, you know you would be living like up here. Like, you would be living in a nice place. Don't get me wrong, you're living in a nice place, but it is effectively an arcology. You are living in a planned community. All this greenery and stuff is very regimented off. And yeah, the line is the great idea for any like horrifying dystopia, I think. So yeah, 90 square, you may say, not wow, 90 square meters suck. Yeah, it does suck. Real New York. God, try having a family in that fucking bungalow. No, Pat, the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment I lived in was 140 meters. Yeah. Hey guys, what about an RV? You don't live in an RV in the city in the line, man. If you've noticed, I haven't put any cars in. uh, yeah, I might not even be like, you can't have a car. You effectively need to like get a police taxi to go anywhere, or you take the fucking. It's like, hey, you want to get anywhere? Yeah, you got to take a monorail. And it'll be like, yeah, there are police monorails. There are, specific weird fucking horrible things set up because this is a city that is a manufactured hell city. Or you live in a hut outside the city. Actually, mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. You may live with other UN personnel. Yeah, it's like, hey, you have an option of you can live in a 1-bedroom apartment in a city block and like in one of the cities on the line. That's like where you live. You can live in a huge apartment on the line itself, like you're inside of the line, which means like yeah, you're connected to the city a little bit more. You can live in the UN Bureau, studio. Oxagon's going to be the nice place because the UN Bureau building is there, and it's like the thing with like living in the UN Bureau, and I'm going to have to kind of explain this when I kind of get down to that kind of the meat and potatoes. There is, you want to get food, the UN will provide you a food. You can go down to like a cafeteria and order food, and they will give it to you. It doesn't cost anything really. Like, hey, you want to get a coffee? Yeah, you can get a coffee. You go down to the UN place, you flash your badge, they give you a coffee. Hey, you want to play fucking virtual tennis? You go to the virtual tennis range and you play fucking tennis. That's not the problem anymore. Not the issue. You're fine. If you're living in your line apartment, you don't go outside. You go to your fucking armored veranda, you look outside, and you're like, damn, it sucks living out there as you light up a smoke. You want to get something to eat? You leave your apartment, you walk down through the arcology, you find a row of businesses. You go down to one of the China shops, and you sit down there, and you get lunch. And there's thousands of people moving around constantly. And it's like, hey, you want to go to a bar? There's a bar there. You want to go there? Like, the line is the cyberpunk mega dystopia. While each of the city blocks, that's what I'm kind of going to call them, is each of the city blocks, like Oxagon, for example, is going to be its own, you could say almost variation on the idea of cyberpunk. Oxagon is nice. Oxagon's really nice, too nice. But you're always kind of in the shadow of the UN building. The UN has established themselves in Oxagon. It's this huge shipping area. It's this huge building area. And it's a nice place to live, generally speaking. Everyone has work. Everyone's very happy. It's just on the far side of the line. You just don't see the line that much. But if you live on some of the other blocks there, some of the other city blocks there, each of them do handle things differently. This is too close to reality. 2099, baby. So the line in this world is just a transportation from Cyberpunk City to Cyberpunk City, or do people live in that dystopian place? People live. Like, this is one thing you have to remember. Like, the line, Saudi Arabia. Like, you gotta remember, the intent is that people will live inside of this. Like, that is the intent, that people will live inside of the line. Yeah, it's like, this is the idea that you're going to, you wake up in the morning. This is the ideal. It's an eco city. That's kind of the best way to think about it. What the plan would be is you're living. It's an arcology. If you've ever seen like an arcology before, like if you ever heard of like. An arcology is effectively a fully subsisting tower, effectively, of buildings, of communities and things. And the goal is you never have to leave the arcology. You should never need to leave the arcology. You work in the arcology, you live in the arcology, you get entertained in the arcology, that's everything. Let me see if I can do, this is, let me see, it's the, it's, Amazon. So, here's the thing, this is a very fascinating thing, and I'm going to talk to you about why this is fascinating. In Seattle. This is Seattle, and, I actually was around here, I stayed there for a little bit. Amazon has a huge presence in Seattle. Massive presence. Because that's where they're based out of, obviously. And one of the things because I realized something as I was walking through there, walking through Belltown, actually, is you live in a Amazon building, effectively. And that's what they were. It was a building bought by Amazon to house employees. You live in that building. You can get drones to deliver you Amazon things. You take a literal, 5-minute walk to go to work at Amazon. You can shop at Whole Foods, which is owned by Amazon. You can get anything you want at Amazon. You live, you breathe, you die, Amazon. Because that's where you live. And that was kind of the idea. And effectively what it's supposed to be, what the line is supposed to be, is, in a way, Solarpunk is a way of thinking about it. It's, people need to remember that hive cities are not aspirational. Wouldn't the line need a fuck ton of people? Yes. The best way to think about it is the idea of the line is it's powering itself because it's going to be carbon neutral. The goal, anyway, is that it's carbon neutral, and there are a bunch of solar panels and stuff. Because remember, this is in the middle of fucking Saudi Arabia. There's a bunch of solar panels and a bunch of hydropower and a bunch of things to power everything. And you're gonna live in there, and you're gonna work in there, and everything's gonna be there. It is the best way to think about it, it is a, no, I hit every wrong button there. You want to think about what it wants to be. This is skyscraper. These are skyscraper apartments in New York. Now, picture one of these. Picture a massive skyscraper apartment, an arcology on its side. That's effectively what they want the line to be. Everything builds up. And in this horrifying reality, The idea is that Neom is a manufactured city. Neom was built, and Neom's just been expanding. The snow in your line, in the real one, it might. It may be. We don't know. Because where it is generally speaking fucking hot. Like, it's in the middle of fucking Arabia, effectively. It is right on the right by Sinai, actually. And that's where the thing about Oxagon is. It's like, oh, the kind of the idea is like everything is going to be very artificial, because remember, entropy. That's the main way we're doing things. Everything is entropic. Things are breaking down. Things are giving up. Where it's one of those moments. This is kind of one of those things where I want people to imagine. You wake up in your apartment, you live on the line, you hear the monorail go by. It runs 24/7. Day in, day out. There is literally every moment there is at least one monorail going by. There are about 17 of them going at any top point. You wake up. You get ready in your tiny apartment. You open your fridge. You got some very basic stuff. You get yourself some breakfast. You take a shower and everything. You're good. Lights off. You exit out of your apartment. There are hundreds of people already by you as you exit your apartment and head to work. You push through people. You're moving through dozens, if not thousands of people. You stop by a coffee place. You get a coffee. You go to work. You work on block 6. You say, all right, cool. You get on the monorail. It's 3 blocks down. You go 1, 2, 3. Takes you 40 minutes. Takes you 30 minutes to go down there. Doesn't everyone work from home though? Well, we would love to believe that, wouldn't we, Halcyon? You hop out. This is a business district. Dozens of different businesses here. You're walking around, and you find your place where you work. You work, my friend, at a tech firm. What do you do at this tech firm? You go in there and you fix shit. Entire day, you're fixing shit. You're going around different parts of the line. You're moving around. You got to stop by the store. So you stop by the store, and it's this huge Whole Foods bullshit thing. You could call a drone, but that costs extra. And then you walk in, you grab what you need, you fucking leave. You have interacted with exactly 2 human beings this entire time. You hop back on the monorail, you go home, you set everything away, and that's it. Everything is very compacted. You can order, if you want to order a sandwich, you can order a sandwich and a drone will pick it up and you will drop it off at your apartment block. But that is time consuming. That takes time. That costs more, and they're going to charge you more for it, because every single thing they can do to nickel and dime you, they're going to try to nickel and dime you. Because that's how it works. Hey, stunner, small. What else do we need? used by UN officers and officials for business expenses, and bribes. Any charge is required to fill out a full report for use and situation. So I should say UN Bank. Due to laws regarding Yep, UN bank account / charge card. If I order a drone, will a drone pick it up or does it pick itself up? If you order a drone, another drone will pick it up, deliver it to you, and leave. Forensics kit, that actually not a bad idea. Never as much as you want. There we go. Forensics kit. Okay, so I think that's what I'll probably end up doing is sorting this out to be a little bit cleaner. I might just literally write these out as paragraphs split up by lines of like, hey, this is like kind of your personal armaments. Like, these are your living conditions. Like, where do you live? What are your living conditions like? What are, kind of going on there? Feel like I'm missing one thing from this, but I don't think I am, because we've got well-being, we've got our officer skills. Actually, I know what we can do. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna blue ball all of you, because I find this funny. There we go. Officer abilities and requirements. Gonna fucking blue ball all of you. Multi-tool is gonna be useful. How likely is you order a drone delivery to the Underhive and your deliverer gets shot and raided by some random fuck? High enough that people don't want to order anything if you're too low. To get to the idea, what I want to do is like, the higher you are, the higher in the hive you are, the better you are. Things are better high in the hive. You go to the muck, you hit the bottom of the line. You are in the dirt. You are a fucking nightmare zone down there, and nobody wants to be down there. That is where you're gonna find gangs. That is where you're gonna find seedy shit. If you ever want to, like, oh no, there's smugglers. Where are they probably coming in from? Over here. If you're gonna find a maverick, the name for cyberpunks in this setting, you're gonna find them down below. You're gonna find them in shitty little places, and you're going to say, hey, I want to pay you some money. I'm gonna pay you 13, I'm gonna pay you 30, 1300, and I want you to do this job for me. You're like, all right, I can do that. Yeah, if you want to hire a maverick, that's what you do. Because remember, everyone, always hire a maverick. Pretty much, guns are not allowed. Guns are illegal. You should never have a gun. However, if you do have a gun, no one's gonna stop you. If it's like, hey, where do you live? I live here. Like, oh. And that's why it's like, oh, well, does Amazon have gun drones around? No, they don't, because they're not allowed to. Are we in California or what? Welcome to a hive city. This is the idea, is like, hey, if the cops find you, like, the cops are notoriously corrupt, but they're also just there because they don't want to go fucking down below. Like, fuck that. The lower you are. Pretty much what I'm imagining is that the line is going to be split up into like 6 districts. Also unrealistic. See, here's the funny thing, Draco. The entire premise of the setting is, a few years ago, there was the last show in 87. In 87, the last show happened. And the last show was a guy named Jackie Sevens. He pretty much hacked the planet and played his awesome rock and roll show, the last great punk. However, what his hacker buddies did, which was the plan anyway, was they completely skull fucked the market. The entire economy of the world collapsed. Legitimately overnight, they collapsed the economy, killed every corporation pretty much, and then everyone started playing bitch. Yeah, the economy is in mega shambles. It literally required that the UN step in and create credits, which they're like, oh hey, this is a measure of not only how good and noble you are. Yeah, it's Chinese social credits just as much as like actual economy. Yeah, the economy has fallen. Billions must die. Effectively, you're seeing it. With the added amusing, caveat being like, yes, the economy is in fucking shambles. None of all these megacorps, kowtow to the fucking UN now. Because they're like, hey, we used to have literal enclaves and nation states that belong to us. Can we please, good ending unlocked? Wait, there's still fucking war bands running around? Yeah. In other parts of the world, yeah, there are. There are people who did not like it. The entire premise of why Neom is such a weird place, why Neom is the place of where everything is kind of taking place, is there was the second Arab Spring. Second Arab Spring broke out literally across the entire line, said, hey, fuck this, we are free people, we don't want to be we don't want to be ruled by, we don't want to be, tyranny, and, fuck this, we want to be, we want to be free. We don't want the UN, demanding our lives. We believe in the last great punk, effectively, the last song of a dying genre. We believe in Jackie Sevens. UN comes in, effectively wipes town. The entire Second Arab Spring is crushed by UN and Saudi forces, and that is why you're even in Neom, is because the UN effectively established a permanent base there, being like, oh, well, we're the Neom Security Bureau. We're here to help. The UN fucks up Second Arab Spring, huh? Yeah. And it was kind of like, well, yeah, now you're here. And to a lot of these guys, you are the pinnacle of UN. Are we the baddies? I hate the Antichrist. Yeah, there's blue helmets. And you work with the blue helmets, and and that's like kind of one of those other things I want to kind of bring up is like, we are the government and we're here to help. Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those moments, it's just like, hey, you found the gangsters. Oh no. You have found the gangsters. What do you do? Well, you have three options. Well, we can fight them ourselves. We can call in the Murphys, which is the local police force, effectively. Murphys. Or we can call in the UN to deal with this. The Murphys and the UN are gonna fix the fucking issue. But it's also like, yeah, you're pissed off the cops because they don't like you. We're not gonna give you Murphy clearance. Yeah, no, that's kind of the idea, is like the blue helmets are this kind of permanent force of nature, almost being like, yeah, we're here, we're gonna help, and we saved the world because the last great punk died on his feet and he blew his head off live on air to prove a point after he blew up every corporation. That's why the setting is entropy. That's the theme, is entropy. World's dying. This is post-cyberpunk. This is another Fallout dystopia apocalypse adding. This is dystopian apocalypse. Not really dystopian. I would say it's dystopian, but not really apocalyptic. It's like there were nukes. There were 3 nukes dropped, but not really too bad. So the UN actually does stuff and gets things going and shit without dealing with national sovereignty being an issue. Yeah. Because like, hey, you want to start shit? What if we just turn off your money? Because money is... Because the UN effectively has the authority to be like, hey, you have an international, line of credit. You don't have that line of credit anywhere. Fuck you. Sorry, you don't have that. Wouldn't monarchy return somewhere? Probably. Maybe. A lot of local crime. There are still people being evil. That's the thing. And again, Lubu, you're looking at it correctly, and you're looking at it as what, like, there are still people doing terrible things. People still get murdered. People still commit financial crimes. People are still doing things evil. They're still doing naughty things they shouldn't, criminal activity. It's just, hey, you have kind of the more overbearing idea being like, yeah, punk's dead. Punk's dead. And, kind of that beautiful cyberpunk utopia. We are in the middle point between cyberpunk nightmares we are in like a weird thing where we are in the moments before, like, after the cyberpunk dystopia and before Ghost in the Shell. We're in that moment. We're in the moment right in between. No one's really happy. We haven't really developed anything new. We're just kind of sitting in our own Isn't that just Dirty Harry in LA? Probably. And we're just kind of sitting in our own filth a little bit, being like, no one's won. Nobody won. Yeah, we're stuck between Cyberpunk and Mirror's Edge, and we're making our way. Things are being made, but it's like right now, things are just breaking apart. No one's going to win. We're all going to die, and there's nothing that. What's that famous Polish phrase? Polish for we're all going to die. Yes. This famous Polish phrase.
Hello, are you depressed? Because I'm not. Which is why today I'm going to teach you how to say life is meaningless and we are all gonna die in Polish. Let's get right into it. Życie jest bez sensu i wszyscy zginiemy. Życie jest bez sensu i wszyscy zginiemy. Życie jest bez sensu i wszyscy zginiemy.
Yeah, no, if you want a Zjemy, we are going to die. Yeah, if you want it, like, that's the prevailing mood. Life is meaningless and we're all going to die. Yeah, so like that's kind of the idea. Like, if the UN shows up anywhere, it's like, oh fuck. Yeah, like it's nobody likes the UN. People are very frightened of the fucking UN. People do not like them. They are scared of them. Because, hey, 5 years, a couple of years ago, you guys fucking carpet bombed us. Like, we got our shit rocked. It was arcology fighting, and except it wasn't pretty, nobody won. It was just a bunch of kids getting gunned the fuck down in the streets, effectively, by UN and Saudi forces. And it's like, oh, nobody wins. Good job. We're all going to die. Are you still talking about the game setting? Or, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. I need to finish dinner. My dinner is almost ready. It's a great idea for dinner. We will continue this on Wednesday. Hopefully, Wednesday, most likely, if I don't get to this. If I don't finish this up immediately, we will do this into the 24-hour day. And then we'll kind of play it by how we want to do things. So, thank you all for watching. Also, thank you very much, La Sombra, for following. Thank you. Godspeed, good luck, and you know the rest.